Kamala Harris has now proven that she can handle a hostile Fox News interview and shame the conservative channel at the same time. In a revealing sit-down with Fox, Harris noted that Donald Trump has spoken about using the U.S. military against his American political opponents.
He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Bret, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated.
Harris was spot on. For several days, Trump has repeatedly accused Democrats of being the enemy from within. Trump has said it in speeches.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with.
Trump has said it to Fox News hosts.
And then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia.
And Trump even said it on the Harris-Faulkner interview that Baier was referring to.
It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists.
But Baier did not show that clip. Baier showed a clip of Trump laughing and then attacking Democrats.
They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening.
So Harris called out Fox News and shamed Baier to his face.
When he's speaking about the American people, that's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
Boom. Remarkable moment for Kamala Harris. And why did Fox News do the selective editing? Why would Baier want to protect Donald Trump from the very thing Trump said on the Fox News town hall? Well, that takes us to Baier, and I'll get to that interesting part of this story in a moment. First, to complete the epic takedown of Baier and Trump in this interview, and to bring Fox News consumers the sort of information they rarely hear from Fox hosts, Harris spoke about Trump's fascist rhetoric. Harris noted that it would go against American history and the U.S. Constitution for a president to use the National Guard or military to target peaceful American citizens.
And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump...
the significance of that.
Indeed, in that Bob Woodward book, General Milley called Donald Trump fascist to his core. But there was Baier interrupting Harris, glossing over the Milley critique of Trump, and selectively editing Trump's own words to protect and mislead viewers about Trump. The reviews of Baier have been intense. Nonpartisan media writers are calling Baier a hack, rude, and a Trump propagandist. Several broadcast journalists are calling Baier's approach embarrassing and a bad faith effort to appeal to Donald Trump. And this wouldn't be the first time Baier has tried to curry favor with Trump and provide gifts to MAGA world. 4 years ago, starting on election night 2020, Baier worried that his network was losing viewers to other conservative outlets even more willing to air Trump's election lies. Fox had been the first to call Arizona for President Joe Biden, and according to multiple reports, Baier urged network executives at Fox to ignore the voting data and focus more on helping Trump. In a text message to Tucker Carlson made part of the Dominion voting system defamation lawsuit against Fox, Baier wrote to Tucker, "I have pressed them, Fox management, to slow, and I think they will slow walk Nevada." In other words, the leading self-proclaimed straight news journalists at Fox was apparently urging his network to carry Trump's water and keep the truth about the election away from Fox viewers. That's not journalism. So perhaps nobody should have been surprised that in the Harris primetime interview, Bret Baier acted more like a Republican partisan than like a legitimate journalist. As the New York Times put it in a headline, the Democratic nominee arrived for a Fox interview. She got a debate. From the start, Baier was not just adversarial, as would be expected and appropriate. After all, Harris is seeking the most powerful office in the world. She can handle tough questions. But Baier repeatedly acted as a surrogate for the Trump campaign. Well, by most accounts, Kamala Harris did just fine in this debate. For weeks, Fox News and other conservative groups criticized Harris for not doing media interviews. Then the conservatives said Harris needed to do one without Tim Walz next to her. Then the conservatives said Harris needed to do a hostile interview solo with a big media outlet. Now, conservatives are mad that Harris did not respond directly to some of the hostile questions. Whatever. Kamala Harris proved that she has no problem handling an adversary. The bigger news to come out of this interview, though, is that Bret Baier, the lead Fox News political anchor, is clearly in the tank for Donald Trump. And Fox News coverage of this election cannot be trusted for fairness, balance, or accuracy. By the way, in Florida, some Nazi Trump voters recently got swamped and drenched.
Hail Trump! Hail Trump!
Off the coast of Jupiter, Florida, those are self-proclaimed Nazis. Ex-user Leslie Abravanel took this photo and wrote, "Near Palm Beach right now, all Nazis are Trump voters. Sickening." But the voters in front have had enough. If you watch it again, you can see the Nazis got swamped by Trump supporters. Before the swastika-promoting crew got splattered, the group took a video of their cruise and posted it on social media.
Our 2024, yeah, Jupiter Trump-themed boat parade, man. There we go. Let's see it. My pillow, 1488, motherfuckers. Look at those beautiful swastikas. We gotta make America white again. Hail Trump. White power. White power.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Chris Miller, who wrote, "I noticed they're wearing masks to hide their faces. Isn't that a sissy move?" Good point. I look forward to reading your comments about Fox News' move to cover for Donald Trump and Kamala Harris busting Fox to the lead anchor's face. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.